presidential candidates. You may take your stands at the podiums.
After months of meticulous planning, the stage was all set for the grand face-off between the 8 persons seeking to succeed President Mwai Kibaki in just under 3 weeks.
Good evening. Welcome to the first of 2 presidential debates intended to give you a comprehensive picture of the candidates.
After exchanging pleasantries and ice-breaking sessions, it was time for the 7 men and 1 woman to get down to business and dissect the pertinent issues as Kenyans prepare for a date with the ballot on March 4th.
Campaigns have taken the shape of a contest between tribes or blocks of tribes. I want to specifically put on the spot CORD, the Honorable Odinga, and Jubilee, the Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, to immediately, right now, respond to that perception that both of you are indeed leading tribes or blocks of tribes, and specifically against each other.
I would completely disagree. If you would look at where we have had all our rallies so far, I have not had a single rally yet in Central Province since I was nominated. We have been campaigning in the Coast Province. We have been campaigning up in Meru. We were in Rift Valley the other day. We're moving on to Lower Eastern, where we intend to be. So we've been up to Korea. So we are actually conducting a national campaign, a campaign that is aimed at bringing all Kenyans together.
But isn't it true that in the 2005 and 2000 votes, your mathematics was a simple 42 minus 1? And you know what I mean?
That is a creation of the media. Nowhere did anybody talk about 41 versus 1. That was actually a propaganda. We talked of uniting all the people of Kenya, and we were running against an incumbent who happened to come from one particular community. But ODM was basically a national movement which brought in the communities from all over the country, like CORD today. CORD is a national movement which has brought Kenyans of all walks of life, different communities. And we have never talked about ethnicity.
Still to Uhuru and Raila, the question of the rivalry between the Kikuyu and the Luo communities, which is at the epicenter of the Kenya's ethnicity problem. There are people who view you, a lot of people view you as taking it on from where your fathers left it. Jomo Kenyatta and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, both of you picking it up from 69. Uhuru.
So personally, I have no differences with the Honorable Raila. I see him as a colleague, I see him as a brother, but we may differ on how to handle some of the issues that face this country. And I think that is why we have elections, so that the people of Kenya are given an opportunity to choose between the candidates.
Honorable Odinga?
No, I basically agree totally with my brother, Uhuru Kenyatta. We have nothing personal between each one of us. In fact, we are best of friends. And you remember, if you go down the memory lane, my father spearheaded the struggle for release of Jomo Kenyatta from prison. He was a Luo, Kenyatta was a Kikuyu, but they were united. In 2002, I said Kibaki Tosha. Kibaki is a Kikuyu, but I said Kikuyus are Kenyans. So we managed to unite the people behind him.
And following the denial, because no politician will admit they are peddling tribalism, following our denials here, my urging to Kenyans, please do not allow us to mislead you. No tribe puts food on your table. It is you, your God, and the opportunities that you have. Why don't we join hands to create opportunities for every Kenyan?
One stylistic device that is commonly used in the Kenyan administrative system is irony, where you talk exactly opposite of what you mean. And it has gone, now it is dramatic. Who are the leaders for all those times when we are discussing tribalism in the 21st century? Who are those who were in the box leading? The same leaders are trying to, if your football team fails scoring or winning, and you change their uniform, it won't help. Dear Kenyans, listen well, and it is up to you to judge.
I'm one of the few people standing here today who has supported Uhuru for the presidential candidate in 2002 and supported Honorable Raila as a president in 2007 elections. So clearly, from that perspective, the tag of tribalism should be distanced from me.
Well, I'm very surprised tonight because we are being economical with truth. We need to look at the Kenyans right straight into the eye. We have wiped tribal emotions since we became a multi-party state. That's why we have hundreds of Kenyans in IDP camps. It is tribal emotions. And this is why we must now start discussing issues. We must start being realistic. We now must start thinking that we must elect what is right, not what is convenient. We must break away the historical bondage that we've been tied to in the last 50 years.
Then came the impending trials of 4 Kenyan suspects at the Hague-based International Criminal Court, among them Kenyatta and his running mate William Ruto.
We now want to bring the elephant into the room, and that is the ICC question. And I want to begin with Uhuru Kenyatta. Your trial for crimes against humanity begins in April. For 2 minutes, Honorable Kenyatta, provide the public with a clear plan of how you intend to govern if elected president, and at the same time attend trial as a crimes against humanity suspect.
The way it currently is, many Kenyans are faced with personal challenges, and I take this as a personal challenge. I'm sure that my colleagues here also have other challenges. But those challenges do not prevent one from continuing with their day-to-day job. If the people of Kenya do decide to vote for me as their president, I will be able to handle the issue of clearing my name, while at the same time ensuring that the business of government continues, our manifesto and our agenda for Kenya is implemented.
Unfortunately, 2 of my colleagues who are now in The Hague are the ones who led the campaign against a local tribunal. Unfortunately, I am the one who is now being accused of having taken people to The Hague, because nothing could be further from the truth. I do not want to eliminate any kind of competition. That's why I would rather have my brother on the ballot. But I know that it will pose serious challenges to run a government by Skype from The Hague. I know that it's not practical.
And if he gets elected president, the question is, are you going to be suspended before taking oath or after taking oath? Any Kenyan can go to court to challenge the position in office, because as our law stands, there is that hurdle. Yeah.
I want to be very clear again. The job that I seek is going to be given by the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya who full well know the personal issues that I am confronted with. If they so desire to still give me that job, and it is indeed my hope that they will, it means they have the confidence in my capacity to discharge my duties as president while still proceeding to clear my name.
Wow. 2 people were presidential candidates. It is impossible. You cannot persuade my mind or the minds of many rational people. But the 2 candidates did not know about it. It's only these other 4 Kenyans who are facing the charges there, and the 2 candidates did not have a clue about it. That is an issue I would want to see investigated. As a Safina government, we would revisit that issue.
Me, I don't fear, because I have nothing to hide. I know exactly what I did, and I know that I was not responsible, and I would be very willing to go to The Hague if one committee would want to take me there.
Then he has actually put the ball to the Kenyan people that he is running, and let the Kenyan people decide. Absolutely. And I think it's very, very important as a country that we don't continue to always bury our hair.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Kiapi. Your time is up.
The country's failure to establish a credible local judicial mechanism to address the post-election violence sprang, triggering an exchange of jabs between the presidential candidates.
Nobody should actually be facing trial outside Kenyan soil. That is something I believe in, and that is something I also voted for,
but are you then
so that we wanted a local tribunal. But the point I'm trying to make here, and I want to make it very quickly, is that there are definitely implications on how the Kenyans will conduct their vote.
I just wanted to disprove that the 2 principles actually pushed for the local tribunal. I was Minister of Justice then. The entire cabinet passed the bill, but when I reached Parliament, they left me with the baby. The two principals, in spite of my pleas to them, failed to come and persuade members. They merely came to vote, and in their full view, there was rebellion, cabinet pushing people to vote, to refuse to vote for the local tribunal. So to put the record straight, the two principals did not stand in Parliament and persuade their troops to vote for the local tribunal.
Even the answer to bears out that we tried as much to persuade all the members to vote for a local tribunal, but the clarion call was, don't be vague, let us go to The Hague. Unfortunate.
I voted for the local tribunal, and we didn't succeed, because I also feel we have put too much concentration on the 4 indicted persons. And we have many Kenyans out there who are still languishing in very poor situations arising from that event of the last election. For me, I would go with the presumption of innocence until proved guilty. I would like to defeat my brother in a proper electoral process rather than have him eliminated, so that we can square the ball out squarely.
With less than 3 weeks to the polls, the presidential contenders were put to task on their commitment to a peaceful Kenya before, during and after the general election.
We will accept the results of free and fair elections. And if you are dissatisfied, now that the judiciary is working,
You go to court.
we will go to court. We will not ask young people to take up arms.
Absolutely. Let's go to Raila Odinga.
We have said as CORD that we will accept the results of the elections. If we are defeated, we will accept defeat. And if there are any complaints, we will also go to court.
Thank you. 10 seconds?
What we are saying is that we don't want to mobilize along ethnic lines. That's why we are campaigning on a national platform.
I strongly believe that if politicians were to follow due processes, use existing institutions, people would not go to the streets. I have proved this myself in the past, in 2002, where I accepted and conceded defeat to the Honorable Mwai Kibaki. I will not shirk from doing the same again. Kenya is far greater than any single individual.
We have the national anthem. We need to look at the contents of the national anthem. And in relation to the national anthem, which is a prayer that is recited, we have any piece of art originates from the author. This world, we are just acting, but it has the God who manages everything. If we get wrong leaders, is because we are not sincere.
Our name, our coalition name, speaks for itself, the Amani Coalition. We have been preaching peace. It may look like a simple thing in a church, but we have been making sure that at every forum, as we discuss issues, the issue of having to work together and conduct ourselves peacefully has been an underlying theme in all our movement.
And what we are telling Kenyans is that at the end of the day, after politicians incite, it is the poor who fight each other. We, the political class, never fight. They have seen us here laughing with each other, greeting each other, so they should not allow us to mislead them with talk of ethnicity.
Other issues that featured prominently include health, security, and education. The next round of the presidential debate will be held on Monday the 25th, just a week to the polls.